The rain-slick streets of suburban Seattle gleamed under the streetlights as I slammed the front door behind me, my heart pounding like a drum in a storm. My stepsister Elena had just confessed something in the garden that afternoon. Something that shattered the fragile peace we'd built since our parents married 5 years ago. "I'm in love with a woman," she'd whispered, her voice trembling, and in that moment, the world tilted, forcing me to question everything I thought I knew about family, loyalty, and myself. I paced the living room, the scent of Mom's pot roast still lingering from dinner, but my appetite had vanished. Elena and I weren't blood-related, but we'd grown up together in this blended mess of a household after Dad married her mom, Sophia, when we were both teenagers. I was the straight-A student, the one who followed rules, while Elena was the rebel, artistic, impulsive, with a fire in her eyes that could light up a room or burn it down. We'd clashed often, but lately, there was a strange pull between us. Conversations that lingered too long, glances that held unspoken words. Now this confession explained it all, or so I thought. Dad was in his study, buried in work emails, oblivious as always. Sophia, Elena's mom, was upstairs, probably scrolling through her conservative church group's Facebook page, posting about family values and traditional marriage. If they found out, it would be chaos. Seattle might be progressive, but our family was a bubble of old-world expectations. Sophia from a strict Italian-American background, Dad from a Midwestern farm family where emotions were buried deeper than the corn roots. I sank onto the couch, replaying the garden scene. Elena's hand brushing mine as she spoke, the way her blue eyes searched mine for acceptance. "Please, Alex," she'd begged, using my nickname only she called me. "Don't tell them. I can't lose you too." But secrets have a way of festering. That night I couldn't sleep, tossing in my bed as thunder rumbled outside. Elena's room was across the hall, and I imagined her curled up, wondering if I'd betray her. The next morning breakfast was tense. Sophia chatted about the upcoming church picnic, her voice bright but edged with that perpetual worry. Dad grunted responses, eyes on his newspaper. Elena avoided my gaze, picking at her eggs, her usual spark dimmed. I wanted to reach across the table, squeeze her hand, but instead I blurted, "Pass the salt," my voice cracking. School that day was a blur. I'm Alex Thompson, 22, fresh out of community college, working part-time at a coffee shop while figuring out my life. Elena, 21, was studying graphic design at the university, her sketches filling notebooks with vibrant, chaotic energy. We'd bonded over late-night talks about dreams, mine practical, hers wild. But now her secret hung between us like a guillotine. During lunch break I texted her, "We need to talk." Her reply came quick. "Garden after dinner?" The garden was our sanctuary, a small backyard oasis with rose bushes Sophia tended religiously. That evening as the sun dipped low, casting long shadows, we met there again. Elena looked exhausted, her hair tied back messily, wearing that faded band tee I always teased her about. "Alex, I didn't mean to dump this on you," she started, sitting on the stone bench. "But you're the only one I trust." I sat beside her, our knees touching accidentally, or was it? "Why now? Why tell me?" My voice was sharper than intended, laced with fear. She explained how she'd met Jamie at a campus art show. A fellow student, bold and unapologetic about her sexuality. They'd been dating secretly for months, stolen kisses in hidden corners, whispered promises under the stars. But Jamie wanted more. Openness, commitment. Elena was torn, terrified of our family's reaction. As she spoke, I felt a storm brewing inside me. Part of me was jealous. Not of Jamie, but of Elena's courage to feel something so raw. I dated guys in high school, but nothing stuck. It all felt performative, like checking boxes. Listening to her, a flicker of something unfamiliar stirred in my chest. What if they disown you? I asked, my mind racing to worst-case scenarios. Sophia had once ranted about a cousin's lifestyle choice, calling it sinful. Dad would probably just withdraw, his silence more cutting than words. Elena's eyes welled up. "Then I'll leave. But I don't want to without you understanding." She reached for my hand, and this time I didn't pull away. The touch sent a jolt through me, warm and electric. We sat there until dusk, the air thick with unspoken tensions. That night I decided to keep her secret, but cracks were already forming in our family's facade. Days blurred into a tense routine. Elena and I exchanged knowing glances, our bond deepening in secrecy. But Sophia noticed something off. "You two seem closer lately," she said one evening, eyeing us over dinner. "It's nice, but Elena, you've been distant. Everything okay at school?" Elena mumbled a yes, but her fork clattered too loudly. Then came the first crack. I overheard Sophia on the phone with her sister. "Elena's been acting strange. I found a rainbow sticker in her room. Probably just a trend, right?" My stomach twisted. Rainbow sticker? Elena's subtle nod to pride, hidden in plain sight. I confronted her later. "You have to be careful," I whispered in the hallway. She sighed. "I know. But hiding is killing me, Alex." Her vulnerability hit me hard. That weekend, she invited me to meet Jamie at a neutral spot. A quiet park downtown. "Just to see she's real," Elena said. I agreed, curiosity overriding caution. Jamie was everything Elena described. Confident, with short cropped hair and a warm smile. We sat on a bench chatting about art and life. Jamie's hand on Elena's knee was casual, but to me it screamed risk. "You two make a cute couple," I said, forcing a smile. Inside, envy gnawed. Not for Jamie but for their freedom. On the drive home, Elena was radiant. "Thanks for coming. It means everything." But as we pulled into the driveway, Sophia was waiting, arms crossed. "Where have you been?" she demanded. Elena lied smoothly about a study group, but Sophia's eyes narrowed. The pressure was mounting, and I knew it was only a matter of time before the truth exploded. The explosion came sooner than expected. It was a Sunday afternoon, the kind where the Pacific Northwest sun teased through clouds, mocking our brewing storm. Dad had dragged us all to Sophia's church picnic, a yearly ordeal of plastic smiles and potluck casseroles. Elena and I trailed behind, our secret a heavy backpack we shared. "I hate this," she muttered, adjusting her sundress, modest per Sophia's insistence. At the park, familiar faces greeted us. Neighbors, church friends, all embodying the conservative enclave within liberal Seattle. Sophia beamed, introducing us as her perfect girls. Dad nodded along, ever the silent supporter. But Elena's phone buzzed incessantly, Jamie no doubt. She stepped away to answer, and I covered for her, chatting with Mrs. Hargrove about college plans. When Elena returned, her face was pale. "Jamie wants to come out publicly," she whispered. "She's posting about us on Instagram." My heart sank. Social media was a minefield. One tag and our family would know. "Stop her," I urged. But it was too late. By evening, as we drove home, Elena's phone lit up with notifications. Sophia noticed. "Who's blowing up your phone, honey?" Elena shrugged it off, but tension thickened the air. That night, after everyone retired, I snuck into Elena's room. She was scrolling frantically, tears streaming. Jamie had posted a photo. Them holding hands at the art show, captioned "Found my forever." Likes poured in from friends, but Elena's world was crumbling. "What if Mom sees?" she sobbed, burying her face in my shoulder. Holding her, I felt protective, a surge of emotion I couldn't name. "We'll handle it," I promised, though doubt gnawed at me. The next morning, chaos erupted. Sophia burst into the kitchen, phone in hand. "Elena, what is this?" She'd seen the post. A church friend had forwarded it, scandalized. Dad looked up from his coffee, confused. Elena froze, fork midway to her mouth. "Mom, I can explain." But Sophia cut her off, voice rising. "Explain? You're dating a girl? This is not how we raised you." Tears welled in Sophia's eyes, a mix of hurt and fury. Dad intervened mildly. "Let's calm down." But the damage was done. The argument spilled into the living room. Sophia paced, quoting Bible verses about marriage. "This is a phase, Elena. You've been influenced by that liberal campus." Elena stood her ground, voice steady despite trembling hands. "It's not a phase, Mom. I love Jamie. This is who I am." I watched from the doorway, heart aching. Part of me wanted to defend her, but fear silenced me. Dad suggested counseling, his go-to for conflicts. Sophia agreed, insisting on a church therapist. Elena refused. "I'm not broken," she snapped. The room fell silent. heavy with unspoken accusations. After, Elena retreated to the garden and I followed. "I'm sorry," I said, sitting beside her. She leaned on me. "It's not your fault." "But now what?" We talked for hours, her opening up about years of suppression, crushes on girls in high school, hidden diaries, the weight of expectation. Listening, I realized my own feelings, the butterflies when she smiled, the jealousy over Jamie. Was I? The family fractured further. Sophia barely spoke to Elena, her disappointment a palpable fog. Dad tried mediating, but his neutrality felt like abandonment. At work, I confided in my friend Mia, who was openly bi. "Sounds like you're questioning too," she said gently. Her words haunted me. Elena started spending more time with Jamie, sneaking out. One night, she came home late, reeking of coffee and freedom. Sophia confronted her at the door. "You're choosing sin over family?" Elena shot back. "You're choosing ignorance over love." The slam of her door echoed through the house. I couldn't stay neutral. That week I researched online forums, books on LGBTQ+ families. Knowledge armed me, but also stirred my inner turmoil. During a family dinner attempt, tensions boiled over. Sophia announced she'd scheduled therapy. Elena exploded. "I'm not going. And if you force me, I'll leave." Dad's face crumpled. "We just want what's best." But Elena's retort cut deep. "Best for who?" "Your image." She stormed out, grabbing her keys. I chased after her. "Don't go," I pleaded in the driveway. She paused, eyes searching mine. "Come with me." The question hung, a lifeline or a leap. I hesitated, torn between loyalty to parents and sister. She drove off, leaving me in the rain. That night, Sophia cried in the kitchen, Dad consoling her. "We failed her," she whispered. Guilt twisted in me. I'd known and said nothing. But betrayal loomed. If I revealed my budding feelings, would I lose them too? Days passed in uneasy truce. Elena returned sporadically, avoiding confrontations. Jamie became a ghost name, whispered in arguments. Then a turning point. Sophia found Elena's journal, hidden under her mattress. Pages of poetry about love, loss, and identity. Reading it, she admitted later, something shifted in her. Perhaps recognition of her daughter's pain. But instead of empathy, it fueled denial. "This is confusion from trauma," Sophia declared, blaming the divorce from Elena's biological dad. Therapy became mandatory in her mind. Elena, upon discovering the invasion, felt violated. "You had no right," she yelled. The fight escalated, words like weapons, betrayal, privacy, love. I intervened finally. "Stop. Mom, Sophia. Listen to her." My voice shook, but I pressed on. "Elena's not choosing this to hurt you. It's real." Sophia turned on me. "You knew." The accusation stung. "Yes," I admitted. "And I support her." The room spun. Dad's silence broke. "Alex, think about the family." But Elena's grateful look strengthened me. That night, we packed a bag for her. Temporary stay with Jamie. As she left, she hugged me tight. "Thank you. But what about you?" Her whisper lingered, planting seeds of my own awakening. With Elena gone, the house felt like a tomb. Echoes of arguments lingering in empty rooms. Sophia alternated between anger and sorrow, baking endless cookies as if sugar could mend the rift. Dad buried himself deeper in work, his coping mechanism. I navigated the minefield, fielding questions from nosy relatives who'd heard whispers through the church grapevine. At the coffee shop, shifts dragged. Customers' chatter blurred into background noise, my mind replaying Elena's departure. Mia noticed. "You look wrecked. Talk to me." Over lattes after closing, I spilled Elena's coming out, the family fallout, my confusing feelings. "Sounds like you're in the closet too," Mia said matter-of-factly. "Have you ever considered you might like girls?" The question hit like a freight train. Memories flooded. Sleepovers with friends, lingering hugs that felt too good, dismissed crushes on female celebrities. Elena's confession had cracked my shell. "Maybe," I admitted. Mia hugged me. "It's okay to explore. Start small." That weekend, I visited Elena at Jamie's apartment. A cozy downtown loft filled with art supplies and rainbow flags. Jamie welcomed me warmly, but tension simmered. I envied their ease. Elena pulled me aside. How's home? I described the silence, Sophia's tears. She misses you, I said. Elena sighed. I miss her too. But I can't pretend. We talked about my doubts. Alex, if you're questioning, that's huge. Don't rush. Her support warmed me, but also intensified the pull between us. Sisterly or something more? Jamie interrupted, suggesting a group outing to a queer-friendly bar. I hesitated but agreed. The bar was a revelation, vibrant, accepting, people of all identities mingling without judgment. I nursed a soda, watching Elena and Jamie dance. A woman approached me, tall with kind eyes. First time. We chatted. Her name was Riley. No sparks, but the conversation flowed, unchained from expectations. Driving home, elation mixed with dread. What if Sophia found out? The next day she cornered me. Where were you last night? I lied about a work event, but guilt ate at me. Then a breakthrough, Sophia suggested family therapy. Not church-based but neutral. For all of us, she said softly. Hope flickered. I texted Elena. She agreed reluctantly. The session was raw. Therapist Dr. Hayes guided us. Sophia admitted fears rooted in her upbringing, losing Elena to that world. Dad shared his own distant father, vowing better. Elena spoke of suffocation, the pain of hiding. I listened, then added, I think I might be like Elena. The room froze. Sophia's eyes widened. What? I clarified, voice trembling. I'm figuring it out, but yeah. Elena's smile was proud. Dad nodded slowly. But Sophia stood, storming out. I can't handle this. The session ended in disarray. Back home, Sophia retreated to her room. Dad and I sat in silence. Give her time, he said. But time was a luxury. Elena returned temporarily, tensions high. Arguments resumed, Sophia accusing us of a phase contagion. Elena defended. It's not catching, Mom. It's truth. One evening it peaked. Sophia found my search history. LGBTQ+ resources. You're both turning against me, she cried. Elena snapped. We're being ourselves. Dad intervened. Enough. Sophia, they're our daughters. His rare firmness stunned us. Sophia broke down, sobbing about her dreams of traditional weddings, grandkids. I feel like I'm losing you. Elena softened, hugging her. You're not. But you have to accept us. It was a tentative bridge, but cracks remained. Meanwhile, my exploration deepened. I dated Riley casually, kisses that confirmed my attractions. Elena encouraged, but Jamie grew wary, sensing my closeness to Elena. Be careful, Jamie warned her. Family lines blur. The family attempted normalcy. A awkward dinner where topics skirted sexuality. But society intruded. A church friend shunned Sophia, gossip spreading. She faced her own conflict. Defend her daughters or conform? At a coffee meetup with old friends, she overheard slurs. Something snapped. Returning home, Sophia announced, I'm done with that group. They're hypocrites. It was small but progress. Elena and I exchanged hopeful glances. Yet betrayal loomed. Jamie, feeling sidelined, issued an ultimatum. Choose family drama or us. Elena confided in me, torn. I love her, but this is pulling me apart. Holding her as she cried, our embrace lingered too long. A spark ignited, mutual realization. Alex, she whispered. But we pulled back, ethics clashing with emotions. The decision weighed heavy. Elena chose family, breaking up with Jamie. Heartbroken, she leaned on me. But now our bond shifted, complicated by unspoken desires. Sophia noticed the closeness, misinterpreting. You two are inseparable, good sisters. If only she knew the turmoil beneath. Post-breakup, Elena withdrew, her art turning darker. Canvases of shattered hearts and stormy skies. I supported her, late nights in the garden sharing secrets. But our proximity fueled confusion. One evening as rain pattered, she confessed. Jamie was safe, but with you. It's different. My pulse raced. Elena, we're stepsisters. The word hung a barrier. Society's gaze loomed taboo, even in progressive circles. We agreed to bury it, focus on healing the family. Sophia, evolving slowly, Attended a PFLD meeting secretly. Returning teary-eyed, she hugged Elena. I'm trying. Dad stepped up, researching allyship. Family dinners improved. Laughter tentative but genuine. Yet undercurrents swirled. I ended things with Riley, nice but not right. My heart pointed elsewhere, forbidden. Then external pressure hit. Elena's university project, a graphic novel on queer identity, gained attention. A local paper featured her, outing her publicly. Relatives called, some supportive, others condemning. Sophia fielded them, defending. My daughter's brave. Pride swelled in me. But backlash followed. Anonymous hate mail arrived, slurs scrawled. Elena shrugged it off, but fear gripped Sophia. Is this worth it? She asked. Elena's response. Living authentically? Yes. The incident united us against outsiders. Internally, though, my struggle peaked. During a family hike in the Olympics, Elena and I lagged behind. Amid evergreens, she took my hand. I can't ignore this anymore. Our kiss was electric, a release of pent-up emotion. But guilt crashed in. We can't, I whispered, pulling away. Back home, secrecy compounded. We avoided alone time, but glances betrayed us. Sophia sensed something. You okay, girls? We nodded, lies piling. Then discovery. Dad found a note I'd written Elena, poetic and revealing. Confrontation ensued. What's this? He demanded, face ashen. Sophia read it, gasping. You two. Together. Denial faltered. Elena admitted. We have feelings. Chaos erupted. Sophia wailed about morality, Dad about complications. This isn't right, he said. We argued ethics. Love versus taboo? Choice versus blood or lack thereof. Sophia felt betrayed. I accepted your orientations, but this? Elena countered. Love doesn't follow rules. The night ended in tears, us retreating. Days of cold shoulders followed. Elena considered moving out permanently. I pleaded with parents. We're not hurting anyone. Dad softened first. I need time. Sophia struggled deepest. Her world upended. Therapy resumed. Group sessions unpacking layers. Dr. Hayes navigated. Societal norms, family dynamics, consent. Progress was slow, revelations painful. Sophia shared her own suppressed youth. A crush on a female friend buried. I chose safety, she admitted. Understanding dawned. But decisions loomed. Elena and I chose space, her crashing with Mia temporarily. Absence amplified longing but also clarity. Family bonds strained yet held. Reunion came via crisis. Dad's minor heart scare. Hospital waiting room united us. Sophia hugged Elena. I love you no matter. Healing began. Back home we set boundaries. Elena and I agreed friendship first, romance paused. But embers remained. Society's judgment lingered. Friends' reactions mixed, some supportive, others distancing. Through it all we navigated mending, each paying prices. Lost illusions, raw honesty. As months passed, our family reshaped like clay after fire. Stronger in places, scarred in others. Sophia joined ally groups, advocating quietly. Dad opened up, sharing stories. Elena's art flourished, exhibitions drawing crowds. I pursued psychology studies inspired by our turmoil. But the pull between Elena and me persisted. A quiet undercurrent. We dated others, her a painter, me a classmate, but comparisons lingered. One autumn evening, in the garden where it began, we confronted it. We can't deny forever, she said. The choice was wrenching. Pursue love, risk family fracture again? Or suppress, preserve peace? Ethics clashed. Society deemed it wrong, but our hearts disagreed. We decided to try, cautiously informing parents. Reaction was mixed. Sophia struggled. I want your happiness, but... Dad supported. If it's real, we'll adapt. Therapy helped navigate. We faced stares, whispers, but also acceptance from true friends. Yet costs mounted. Some relatives cut ties, church ties severed. Elena lost a gallery spot over controversy. I faced campus gossip. But growth emerged. Deeper bonds, authentic living. In the end, our story wasn't tidy. Love won, but with sacrifices. Family dinners now held real conversations, scars badges of survival. Was it right to choose personal happiness over societal norms, even if it meant fracturing traditions?